Good evening, children. So today I am going to begin a new chapter, and the name of the chapter is Modern Age in Europe, or we can call it as Renaissance. Now, if I talk about the word Renaissance, so many things come in this. Initially, if I say the definition of Renaissance, but according to the re-revised syllabus, several topics have been deducted from this group, from this particular chapter. So now, although we have to learn only the re-revised syllabus, but for making the chapter understandable for you, it is essential that the other topics should also be explained. Then only the chapter would be clear to you, else it would be difficult for you to understand. Now children, let's move on the chapter. The first point is definition. Let's talk about definition. What do you mean by Renaissance? See, Renaissance means rebirth. Renaissance means rebirth or revival of the study of the Greek and the Roman classics. That is known as Renaissance. उसको हम कहते हैं Renaissance. Now, see, if I talk in the language of, according to H.A. Davis, it is not possible to draw a hard and fast line of demarcation between the Middle Ages and modern times. लेकिन जो historians थे हमारे, but historians generally agree कि जो year था, that the year 1453, when the Turks conquered Constantinople, marks the end of the Middle Ages, and it was the advent of the modern age. Medieval age खत्म हुआ और modern age की शुरुआत हुई after the year 1453. If there were any two events or movements which mark the transition from the Middle Age to the modern age, they were definitely Renaissance and Reformation. केवल दो टॉपिक्स ऐसे थे जो मिडिल और मॉडर्न के बीच में जिसने जो बदलाव लाए, which brought a difference between the middle and the modern age, and those 2 points were Renaissance and Reformation. दो वर्ड याद रखना, the two words are Renaissance and Reformation. Renaissance is this chapter only, what we are going to study today. So children, let us study about this movement, that is Renaissance. Now, the term Renaissance is derived from the Latin word that is Renaissance, that is Renasscene. Now, what is the meaning of the word? Renaissance means rebirth or revival of the study of the Greek and Roman classics. अगर मैं, if I talk about according to the terms of John Conrad, during the period called Renaissance, most of जितने भी Western Europeans थे, most of the Western Europe या जितना भी यूरोप था वेस्ट का हमारा, Western Europe turned again to the culture of the ancient Greeks and Romans. ये माना जाता है that it stood for an intellectual, literary, artistic and scientific movement which widened the mental horizon of man. और देखो, जब नई चीज़ें आती हैं, जब चीज़ें नई होती हैं, तो हमारे जो सोचने की क्षमता होती है, the capacity of our thinking or the standard of our thinking, that also increases a lot. हमारा जो outlook होता है, that becomes wide outlook. So now if I say the Renaissance stood for creative and adventurous spirit which touched all fields of human thought and activities. और अगर पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू की हम बात करें तो the Renaissance means the revival of learning and development of art, science, literature and European languages. Okay children, अब हम लोग चलते हैं. Is this clear to all? This much is clear, children? Send your answer fast. This much is clear to all? So now I'll be moving to a new topic. The other point is causes of Renaissance. Now let's talk about causes of Renaissance. So if I talk about causes of Renaissance, several points are there. जैसे कि capture of Constantinople, decline of feudalism, discovery of new trade routes, a spirit of inquiry. And the next one is invention of the printing press. You can see children in the decline of feudalism and invention of printing, in the decline of feudalism and a spirit of inquiry, a different symbol have been made. So what it is? It is that it is not in our syllabus. So let's talk about capture of Constantinople by the Turks. My first point is capture of Constantinople by the Turks. See children, Constantinople was the capital of the Eastern Roman Empire and was a great center of Greek and Roman culture. ये जो place थी कॉन्स्टेंटिनोपल, ये एक हब था, ये सेंटर था ग्रीक और रोमन कल्चर का. It contained the valuable manuscripts of the Greek and the great Roman writers. ग्रीक और जो ग्रीक और जो रोमन राइटर्स थे उनका यहाँ पे कंसेप्ट्स थे, उनके मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट्स थी, यहाँ पे उनके लिखी किताबें थी. But Constantinople fell into the hands of the Turks in 1453 CE. Many Greek writers were thus forced to shift to Rome with their manuscripts. अब जब कॉन्स्टेंटिनोपल टर्क्स के हाथ में गया 1453 में, तब वहाँ के लोगों पे, वहाँ के राइटर्स, पेंटर्स, स्कॉलर्स जितने भी थे, उनके ऊपर प्रेशर बना और उनको शिफ्ट करना पड़ गया, उनको प्रेशर डाला गया, उनको अपनी लोकेशन शिफ्ट करनी पड़ी. जो उन्होंने अपनी मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट्स लिखी थी, किताबें लिखी थी, थीसिस लिखी थी, वो उसको लेके वहाँ से शिफ्ट हो गए. एंड वेयर डिड दिस शिफ्टेड? दे शिफ्टेड टू रोम. अच्छा, इसके बाद क्या हुआ? जो अभी तक चीज़ें जो ग्रीस में थी, अब वो कहाँ शिफ्ट कर गई? दैट शिफ्टेड ऑल द थिंग्स टू रोम. रोम देन बिकेम द सेंटर. अब क्या था? रोम जो था वो सेंटर बन गया ग्रीक कल्चर का. नाउ रोम बिकेम द सेंटर ऑफ द ग्रीक कल्चर. It has been rightly remarked, Greece has not fallen. ये कई बात कही जाती है कि ग्रीस खत्म नहीं हुआ था, ग्रीस नीचे नहीं गिरा, लेकिन ग्रीस जो था वो इटली चला गया, वो माइग्रेट कर गया. In English we call it as it has been rightly remarked, children, that Greece has not fallen, she has migrated to Italy. Greece has migrated, it means that all the scholastic personalities, all the scholars, they have shifted along with their manuscripts to Italy, that was to Rome. They began to spread Greek knowledge and culture, and in this way they revived the interest of the people in the study of Greek philosophy, science, art and literature. Or in other words, if I say the revival of the learning, again one more definition can be there for just changing the words, the revival of the learning of the Greek classics paved the way for reformation. जो ग्रीक क्लासिक्स थी उनको दोबारा से जो पढ़ने का सिस्टम स्टार्ट हुआ उसने रेनेसा के रास्ते खोल दिए. Yes, children, answer it fast. This point is clear to all. Send your message. This point is clear to all, and all of you should send me the message. Sakshi, Shubhi, Nikhil, Pratham, Aditi, Arnav, all the people. This point is clear or not? This particular topic, that is capture of Constantinople by the Turks. Aditi, Aditi, what about you? Okay, children. Now, let's move to the other topic. See, now my other topic is, in short, if I say capture of Constantinople, in short, if I say it was the capital of the Eastern Roman Empire and has valuable manuscripts of the Greek and Roman writers. As in 1453, Constantinople fell into the hands of the Turks. Many Christian writers left the place and found refuge in the various countries of Europe. It began the spread of Greek knowledge and culture and revived the interest of the people in the study of philosophy, art, science, etc. Now, let's move to the other point. The other point is decline of feudalism. Also, it is not in your syllabus, but I'll write to revive this topic. That was the decline of feudalism. So, children, as you all know the meaning of the decline, the word decline means bring to an end. देखो उस समय feudalism एक system था. Feudalism was a system according to which the medieval European society was organized on the basis of land revenue or land tenure. Again, I am repeating. Feudalism was a system according to which the medieval European society was organized on the basis of land tenure. तो इस सिस्टम में क्या होता है? All the people from the king to the serf were bound by the obligations and duty to a higher authority. The society had graded organization in which there was hardly any chance for social mobility and progress, or we can say it was also opposed to freedom and equality of rights. The decline of feudalism, it gave a great relief to the peasants, craftsmen, and traders, and developed in them a spirit of free thinking. They now devoted their leisure time to the development of art and literature. इसके अलावा they developed a habit of free and fearless thinking. This free and fearless thinking is a very important concept. I tell you how. अगर आपसे कहा जाए कुछ सोचो, if I ask you for any idea, you can tell me a lot of ideas. But if I put so many restrictions on you कि नहीं आपको इन चीजों को ख्याल रखते हुए सोचना है, then your thinking would not be so huge as it used to be earlier. So that was the problem. Now, if I say, in short, decline of feudalism, the points are there. Feudal system broke down during the later medieval age. Measures were taken to curb the power of the feudatory landlords. Church became powerful. सबसे important point. The church became powerful, which was also resented by many rulers as church tried to control the feudatory lords. The powers of the papacy were also challenged by many European monarchs. As Pope was considered, देखो जो पोप होता था उसको भगवान का दूत कहा जाता था. Pope was considered as God's representative. Kings could not claim to rule by divine right. जो किंग फिलिप थे फ्रांस के, किंग फिलिप, the name is King Philip, Philip. King Philip of France got the Pope arrested in 1296, which added a new chapter to the nations or to the relations between the rules and the Catholic Church. ये एक बहुत बड़ा इवेंट था. Okay, now let's move to the next point. My next point is new trade routes. Although this is not in the syllabus, but just have a short discussion. See, the navigators of Portugal and Spain played an important part in the geographical explorations. When Constantinople fell into the hands of the Turks in 1453 CE, and they shut down the trade routes between the west and the east, the European traders and navigators. अब देखो जब रास्ते बंद हो जाते हैं, आप कहीं जा रहे हैं, कोई रूट ब्लॉक है या बंद हो गया, तो आप क्या करते हैं? यू जस्ट टर्न योर व्हीकल. आप जहां से भी जा रहे होते हैं कोई दूसरा रास्ता पकड़ लेते हैं जो आपको समझ में आता है, कोई दूसरा शॉर्टकट मार लेते हैं. इन द सेम मैनर, अब एट दैट टाइम जो ट्रेड रूट्स थे वो बंद कर दिए गए थे. यूरोपियन ट्रेडर्स के जो वेस्ट और ईस्ट वाला पार्ट था, ट्रेड रूट्स बंद कर दिए गए थे. अब क्या किया? सो the European traders and navigators felt the need of discovering new sea routes. Prince Henry, the navigator of Portuguese, or the Prince Henry, he was the navigator of Portugal, discovered a sea route to Africa. इन्होंने एक सी रूट डिस्कवर किया जो कि अफ्रीका का था. Bartholomew Dias was successful in reaching the Cape of Good Hope and the southernmost point of Africa. Vasco da Gama discovered India. Columbus discovered अमेरिका इन 1492 CE। अच्छा, ये जो जोग्राफिकल एक्सप्लोरेशंस हो रहे थे और जो डिस्कवरीज हो रही थी, दिस जोग्राफिकल एक्सप्लोरेशंस एंड डिस्कवरीज ब्रॉट द पीपल, जो वेस्टर्न यूरोप के लोग थे, ये डायरेक्ट कांटेक्ट से आ गए पीपल ऑफ एशिया। जो वेस्ट यूरोप के लोग थे वो एशिया के लोगों के कांटेक्ट में आ गए, उनके संपर्क में आ गए। एंड दस ग्रेटली ब्रॉडेंड their outlook and forced them to give up their blind faith। जो लोगों का पहले अंधविश्वास था, जिसे हम लोग कहते हैं ब्लाइंडली विश्वास कर लेते थे, लोगों का वो अंधविश्वास हट गया था। On your screen also you can see certain points I have written. The Europeans began to explore the world through long voyages and discovered many new countries of the world। देखो, दो टाइप के एक्सप्लोरेशंस थे, एक थे पोर्टुगल एक्सप्लोरेशन, पुर्तगाल के लोग, और दूसरे थे स्पेन के लोग, और द स्पेनिश एक्सप्लोरेशंस। इफ आई टॉक अबाउट Portugal was the first European country to employ its effort. Portugal या Portugal was the first European country to employ its effort in the discovery of a sea route to India। और यहीं के थे प्रिंस हेनरी। प्रिंस हेनरी the navigator started a school for navigators between 1394 and 1460 AD। In 1488, Bartholomew Dias reached the Cape of Good Hope. From there, it became possible to reach the eastern countries. In 1497, in the year 1497, Vasco da Gama sailed across Indian Ocean and reached Calicut, a coastal town of Kerala, in 1498. Marco Polo, this person Marco Polo, he visited China, Java and Sumatra. The book Travels of Marco Polo made Europeans familiar with the rich possessed by the eastern countries। ये हम लोगों ने जो पढ़ा, that I was talking about the Portuguese explorations, and on the other side there were Spanish explorations also। कई स्पेन के भी लोग थे, for example Columbus, an Italian, set sail on August 3rd 1492 to find a new route to the east under the patronage of the Queen of Spain. He landed on an island of Bahamas on 12th October 1492 and he named it at San Salvador. He discovered Jamaica, Puerto Rico, Trinidad and the coast of Venezuela. He reached the coast of Indies, but later it was found, वो पहुंचे इंडीज में थे, लेकिन बाद में पता चला it was not Asia but a new land known as America after the voyage of Amerigo Vespucci। Amerigo Vespucci ये क्या थे? He was an Italian sailor। He followed the route of Columbus and made 4 voyages to the New World between 1497 and 1503। और अमेरिका का जो नाम पड़ा था, it was named after him। Remember the name? Amerigo Vespucci। I am just typing the name। The name is Amerigo Vespucci। After that, Ferdinand Magellan, a Portuguese, made the first voyage round the world with the help of Spanish King Charles I. He reached with he reached the islands of the Philippines. Sir Francis Drake sailed around the globe between 1577 and 1580. Now children, let's talk about the spirit of inquiry. What was the spirit of inquiry? You can't use the spirit of inquiry. Let's talk about, although it is not in your syllabus, if I talk about a spirit of inquiry, development of science created the spirit of inquiry and encouraged original thinking on scientific lines. It gave a severe blow to old beliefs, blind faith, dogmatic attitude, and superiority of the church. Roger Bacon contemplated the use of horseless carriages and flying machines. Leonard placed before the people his new scientific ideas and discoveries fearlessly. अच्छा, उसी समय Copernicus proved that the earth moves round the sun. और जो inventions थी, these inventions, it broadened the mental outlook of the people and put an end to old beliefs and the traditions. लोग भी जिन भी लोगों की पुरानी सोच समझ थी या जो सोचने का तरीका था, उसमें बदलाव आने लगा. Now, in the other points I have written, you can see on your screen, a number of scholars developed a spirit of inquiry and a sense of curiosity among the people. देखो, जब कोई नई चीज़ आती है तो आपकी spirit of inquiry रहती है. मतलब अगर आप कुछ जानने के लिए इच्छुक हैं, if you are interested in knowing something, then only you can know about it. And then when your interest is there, you come to know about a lot of facts. They thought that human beings should know why and how of things. Now, अब इसके कौन-कौन से factors थे? The following were the factors responsible for the development of spirit of inquiry. देखो, thinkers like Roger Bacon, Abelard, Thomas Aquinas, also called forerunners of Renaissance, revolutionized the thought process and laid great stress on reasoning. The Crusades brought the people of Europe into direct contact with the people of Asia. It widened their outlook on life and destroyed dogmatic attitude. Next point is development of science created the spirit of inquiry and scientific temper. Church schools spread education in the later medieval period. Universities were also established at Oxford, Cambridge, Padua, Paris, Naples, and Salamanca, that is Spain. It spread the attraction towards education. अब लोगों की जो उस समय रुचि थी, जो इंटरेस्ट था, वो अब शिक्षा में बढ़ने लगा. Now the people were more and more interested in education. The invention broadened the mental outlook of the people. Like Roger Bacon contemplated the use of horseless carriages and flying machines. Copernicus proved that the earth moves round the sun, and Galileo invented the telescope. See, जो भी उस समय राजा होते थे या जो प्रिंस होते थे या जो मर्चेंट्स होते थे, the princes and the merchants पैट्रनाइज्ड आर्ट एंड लिटरेचर। इन लोगों ने आर्ट और लिटरेचर को बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस दी। जो भी अच्छे लेखक थे या स्कॉलर्स थे उनको ये लोग फाइनेंस करते थे। Francis I of France invited Italian scholars to educate the French in the new learning. Henry VIII of England, Charles V of Spain, and other kings patronized scholars in their royal courts. Now I have used the word patronized. Now can anyone tell me the meaning of the word patronized? Can anyone tell me the meaning of the word patronized? Yes, any one of you define the meaning of the word patronized. Yes, Charu, Shubhi, Janvi, Arnav, Anand, Sakshi, Aditi, and Shubhi. Tell me the answer of this word. What do you mean by the word patronized? Patronized. Patronized. क्या मतलब होता है इस वर्ड का? Yes, children. Now let me tell you. The word patronize means जैसे आप बहुत अच्छे writer हैं या knowledgeable person हैं, scholar हैं, then the king will be paying, or he will be keeping you in his kingdom, and he will be only paying your livelihood. Means he will be taking the complete care of you and your family. Means the entire expenses of that person or the family were being paid by the king. मतलब उसके पूरे पैसे जो होते थे वो राजा पे करते थे. Okay, now let's move to the next point. See, children, my next point is invention of the printing press. Before the invention of the printing press, देखो printing press की invention से पहले, before the invention of the printing press, it was very difficult to spread knowledge because books were written by hand and they were also very costly. Knowledge was the privilege of the wealthy people only. देखो उस समय कोई मशीन तो होती नहीं थी, किताब जो होती थी या जो भी आप अपना थ्योरी लिख रहे हो वो हाथों से लिखते थे, और जो हाथों से चीज़ लिखी जाती थी उसकी कीमत बहुत ज़्यादा होती थी. इट यूज्ड टू बी टू कॉस्टली. तो पढ़ाई लिखाई वाला जो काम था, जो पढ़ने लिखने का जो फील्ड थी, दैट वॉज मेंट ओनली फॉर द स्कॉलर्स. सिर्फ उन लोगों के लिए थी जो फाइनेंशियली बहुत मजबूत होते थे. और एक तो जो भी चीज़ें हाथ की लिखी होती थी, अगर आप उसको परचेज करना भी चाहो तो उसका दाम इतना ज़्यादा होता था कि कोई उसे बहुत बड़ा बिजनेसमैन या राजा ही खरीद सकता था. Knowledge was the privilege of the wealthy people. Remember this point? Knowledge was the privilege of the wealthy people only. But things began to change with the invention of the printing press. लेकिन जैसे ही printing press इन्वेंट हुई उसके बाद लोगों की सोचने का तरीका बदलने लगा. कई सारे बदलाव आए. The first printing press was set up in Germany in 1465 CE. पहली प्रिंटिंग प्रेस जो बनाई गई थी वो थी जर्मनी में 1465 CE में, and it was made by Gutenberg. The name is Guten, G-U-T-E-N, G-U-T-E-N-B-E-R-G. It was made by Gutenberg. अच्छा, बाद में दूसरे देशों में भी बनी. लेटर ऑन कैक्सटॉन इंट्रोड्यूस्ड इट इन इंग्लैंड इन 1476 सीई. जो प्रिंटिंग प्रेसेस होती थी ये इटली में, हंगरी में, इन सब जगहों पे भी लगाई गई. अच्छा, इसका फायदा क्या हो रहा था? दे हेल्प्ड इन पब्लिशिंग बुक्स. देखो प्रिंटिंग प्रेस का सबसे बड़ा फायदा क्या होता है? आप कोई भी चीज़ हाथ से अगर लिखते हो तो एक कॉपी या एक पन्ना एक ही बार लिख पाओगे. लेकिन प्रिंटिंग प्रेस से क्या आता है? आपने लिखा एक पन्ना और उसके हजारों लाखों प्रिंट आउट निकल गए, मतलब उसकी छाया, फोटो जीरोक्स जिसे हम लोग कहते हैं, वो निकल सकती हैं. तो उस समय क्या हो रहा था? दे हेल्प्ड इन पब्लिशिंग books in large numbers. Now books reached the common people and they went a long way in spreading knowledge. The people now began to understand religion in its real sense. और जब किताबें आती हैं तब हमारी जानकारी जो होती है वो और ज़्यादा बढ़ती है. अब लोगों को समझ में आने लगा कि what is the meaning of religion, धर्म क्या होता है. The people now began to understand religion in its real sense. अच्छा, दूसरी तरफ spread of education also gave, जो spread of education था, spread of education also gave a great impetus to the literary activity of the Renaissance and widened the mental horizon of the people. और तीसरी तरफ जो लोगों का मेंटल होराइजन था वो भी बढ़ने लगा था. देखो जितनी आप किताबें पढ़ते हो, फॉर एग्जांपल आप अपनी बुक पढ़ते हैं, यू रीड योर ओन टेक्स्ट बुक, अलोंग विद दैट आप 2-4 रेफरेंस बुक्स, अलग अलग किताबें भी उससे पढ़ते हैं, गूगल पे सर्फिंग करते हैं. व्हाट्स द पर्पस बिहाइंड दिस? कि आपका जो मेंटल होराइजन है वो और ज़्यादा बड़ा हो सके, आपको और ज़्यादा इंफॉर्मेशन मिल सके. दैट वर द थिंग्स. In short, children, if I talk about before the invention of the printing press, handwritten books were scarce and costly. प्रिंटिंग प्रेस के बनने से पहले, प्रिंटिंग प्रेस से पहले जो हाथ से लिखी किताबें होती थी वो बहुत कम होती थी, बहुत रेयर होती थी, एंड उसके जो दाम होते थे वो बहुत ज़्यादा होते थे. तो इसलिए जो बहुत अमीर होगा वही किताब पढ़ पाएगा या खरीद पाएगा. जो पहली प्रिंटिंग यूनिट थी, the first printing unit was installed by Johanna Gutenberg at Mainz in Germany. Next point is the printing press made books easily available at cheap because of the availability of cheap paper. दूसरी तरफ through printing press education began to spread among the masses. देखो जैसे nowadays we are having the newspaper. न्यूज़पेपर से क्या होता है? जो खबर होती है, whatever information is there, whatever news is there, that reaches the entire mass of the world. You would have seen that there is a variation in the newspaper rates. कोई 1 रुपए का आता है, कोई 4 रुपए, 5 रुपए. तो क्या होता है? लेकिन न्यूज़ सबकी एक ही रहती है, बस उसका वर्ड्स चेंज होते हैं, प्रेजेंटेशन चेंज होती है. सो बट दिस न्यूज़पेपर्स जो एजुकेटेड मटेरियल है, इससे हमें मैक्सिमम इंफॉर्मेशन मिलती है. प्रेस, उसको आज के टाइम में द प्रेस इज ऑल्सो चेंज. अब प्रिंट मीडिया आता है, वन इज द प्रिंट मीडिया और एक हम लोग टीवी में देखते हैं. जो प्रिंट मीडिया है, in that all the magazines, newspaper comes. So maximum people today are getting the information, getting the knowledge through the printed media only. हम लोग प्रिंट मीडिया को ही ज़्यादा इस्तेमाल करते हैं. Although people are having television in their houses, but then also they read the newspaper. Newspaper reading is more preferred by the masses. On the other side, advancement is there in the terms of media, but printed media is more stronger, and that is reliable and trustworthy. Now, children, let's come on certain questions. Are you all ready for the questions? Children, today I am having 3 questions for you. Now I am waiting. Okay. Okay children, so now the first question. पहला सवाल मेरा. What is meant by Renaissance? Yes children, answer it fast. What is meant by Renaissance? Yes children, you can all see the question. Send your answer fast. Janvi, write the complete answer. Charu, where is your answer? Arnav Anand, Shubhi, okay. Okay, now children, let me tell you the answer. Renaissance means, the word Renaissance means rebirth or revival. Rebirth or revival of the study of the Greek and the Roman classics. Or in another sense, if I say Renaissance means rebirth or revival of interest in the ideas and ideals which inspired new developments in the field of thought, science, literature and arts. That is known as Renaissance. Now, the next question. Mention any 3 causes. This is the last question children. Mention any 3 causes of the Renaissance. 3 कारण Renaissance के. Mention 3 causes of the Renaissance. Today only we have studied, so type your answers fast. Okay, now let me tell you the answer. Nobody is sending. Okay, Charu, 1 cause is right. Okay, children, let me tell you the causes. Okay, Ridhima, answer is correct. Okay, total there are 5-6 causes. So let's talk about only 3 I have asked you. So the answer is capture of Constantinople, decline of feudalism, discovery of new trade routes, spirit of inquiry and invention of the printing press. Good children? That's all for today, and tomorrow I'll be continuing this chapter. Is the chapter clear to all? I hope so. Whatever I have taught you today, that topics would be clear.